All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Unstoppable REI. I'm here with my man, Gene Boykin, the subject to man, the subject to guy. I'm sure you've seen him everywhere, right? So, Gene, Gene, appreciate your time, man. I want to just get right into it because I know your time is valuable. So, tell me, now let's just start with your story. I mean, give me your 30-second elevator pitch.
Yeah, man. Well, I was working at a landscaping company. That's where I started, 12 bucks an hour, man. But I live by a philosophy, he who is faithful with little is faithful with much.
Nice.
So I always, do my best, man, work my hardest, do my best work, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter landscaping or real estate investing. So I worked my way up to running that company. And at the same time, I was investing with a
Okay.
friend of that became a doctor. We've been lifelong friends. So he planned on financing the business and I
Okay.
planned on running it. I was the entrepreneur. And we always thought real estate, right? Because hey, everybody knows real estate's the best way to build wealth, right?
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
had no idea at the time that 95% of real estate investors fail, but I'm glad I didn't know that at the time, right? Because
Yes.
that might have hindered me a bit. So we're having trouble though getting financing from banks, even though he makes a lot of money. So we had
Okay.
only done 3 flips in 3 years, and
Okay.
I'm working full time running this landscaping company, so that's hard work too. So I'm
Sure.
pretty much getting paid less than minimum wage, to do real estate investing. Right, 3 flips in 3 years is nothing,
Right.
uh,
Right.
especially splitting it. So we lose another deal, man, because the banks they were dragging their feet on this one. So and we were
Okay.
going to a lot of money, about 60K each, and then
Wow.
yeah, it was a good deal. It was a pre-foreclosure. That's what got me into those distressed homes, guys. So there's a tip. Uh,
Okay. All
so
right. I'm
at the
listening.
at the same time, though, my boss he passed me over for yet another opportunity, and to move up and to learn, to get a tool that I could keep forever, right? And I
Right.
had kept that business running for him while he was out with a medical condition. So my partner says to me one day, though, he's like, well, why can't I just take over the mortgage? I can afford to pay that. And
Okay.
the bad thing was, though, I was like, I had never heard of that. I didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and I had wrote a 58-page step-by-step plan on how to invest in real estate,
Okay.
So I read all these books, stuff like that, and I never heard of it. Well, what I wanted at the time was to fire my boss. I wanted all
Gotcha.
my, work for myself, man. But what I really wanted was just financial freedom, man. My time back,
Gotcha.
control of my life, man. Control of the book, my book, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
Um, and so that was what I really wanted. But I had a conversation with my boss about him passing me up on that opportunity. He didn't like it, the conversation, so he ended up not calling me back the next time it snowed. So I was pretty much fired, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was fired. I
Okay.
just a 2-year-old daughter, or I have a 2-year-old daughter at the time, and you know, real estate investing wasn't going great because I just lost that deal.
Right.
So
Right.
man, my back's against the wall now. So I got two choices to make. I either go into real estate investing 100%, just go in, right?
Right.
But if I fail, it's going to be catastrophic. It's going to be
Right.
horrible for me and my family if I fail at this, because I'm already using the little bit of extra money I did have chasing these deals, and then using the extra time I did have. So I
Right.
wasn't spending any time with my family, and I'm not getting any deals. I'm just wasting the little bit of money we had, right? So, but then also, I'm kind of like a lot of people out there. I don't have any marketable skills, right?
Gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
not a plumber, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a realtor. So starting a new job, if I start a new job, I'm gonna have to start a menial position, probably making 12 bucks an hour. So
Gotcha. Sure.
that that'll be catastrophic for the family too, right? So it's
Right.
like,
Catch 22. Right.
yeah, either way, I gotta, it's like, man, I gotta sink or swim pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I know that that I have enough talents to build something for myself instead of working for other people to make their dreams come true.
Right.
Right. So I decided I was going to dive into real estate 100%, man. And that's when it came to be what my partner said. Why can't I take over somebody's debt? So I start researching that. And
Okay.
I pull up the traditional stuff, right? An assumption, which is the
Sure.
same. You got to qualify, you got to fill out credit applications, all this stuff. Well, so I keep searching because that wasn't the ticket. And I find my mentor's YouTube. He's now my mentor. He wasn't then, right? I
Okay.
found YouTube, and he's got this strategy he uses called subject to. He says, Yeah, he says he's been buying investment properties since 2007 by just taking over the existing debt on those properties. No credit checks, doesn't have to qualify, no W-2s, any of
Nice.
that stuff. And then he says he doesn't need a lump sum of money. So I'm asking myself though, I'm like, man, is this even real? Like,
Right, right.
can you even do that? I don't think you can do that, right?
Is
That's what
that
I'm saying.
legal? Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Because I'm like, man, it sounded exciting, but I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. So the next video, he's talking and he reaches down and he pulls up the deed to the house that he lives in.
Okay.
And lives in a house that he bought subject to. So he took over the existing mortgage, didn't have to qualify or anything in the house that he lives in.
Yeah.
So that was the moment that I knew. I was like, man, I can do this. I can actually do this. So I dove in, man. I locked myself in my basement for about 3 months. 3 months straight. Yeah, getting as much knowledge as I could on
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
This is the thing. I knew in my heart and my soul that this was it.
Yeah.
I knew it, man. I knew it. But as an entrepreneur, we're almost half crazy because
Sure.
we know it, right? But
yeah.
people around us don't know it. They're like, oh, here goes Gene again, with another thing he's gonna try.
Right, sure.
Brained idea, right? So and then on top of that, I wasn't working. So I'm in my basement, man, for 3 months, studying and getting this knowledge, researching, but bills aren't stopping. So my savings account's running out, I'm not getting paychecks. And then my fiance is looking at me like, are you going to do something? Like, what are you going to do? You can't lock yourself in the basement and hope that it goes away,
All the pressure's on you. Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure, man. But I knew, nobody else knew except my partner. He stuck with me, man.
Okay.
He's the only one, I think, pretty much that believed from the beginning, right? The only one. And so I knew in my heart, man. So I jump out there. I finally start taking action once I felt I had enough knowledge.
Sure.
And just like Chris said, man, my mentor, Chris Haskins, Chris was a killer. Check him out, man. He's a legend. So just like he said, man, I got my first house in April of just this past year by taking over the debt on that property.
Nice.
I didn't spend any money, didn't know credit checks, W-2s, any of that stuff. So when I got that first one, I knew, man.
Goes on.
I was like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
So then in 90 days, I acquired 4 properties.
Wow. You were playing around, huh?
Yeah, that in 90 days, man. And then I did 5 transactions as well, a little bit more sophisticated wholesale transactions. So I did pretty well. And during that time, though, I'm telling myself, why have I never heard of this? Like, why have I not heard of this strategy? This is it's wonderful. Like, why doesn't everybody use it? So I was like, you know what? I've got to make a system so that people can repeat my results.
Gotcha.
Right? I got to make this system because I want to make it for the people who are like me, who grew up like me, who didn't have the role models that they should have had. My dad worked construction, my mom had odd jobs, right? We were paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes the lights might get cut off, right? So I'm like, if my parents had access to this knowledge, things may have been different.
Totally different. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's my duty to get this knowledge out there. So that's when I created, off of trial and error, the 7 steps to becoming the bank. The go-getter family, 7 steps to becoming the bank. And and since then, man, I've been on podcasts, I've spoken at seminars, leadership conferences. I even have my own seminar to get this knowledge out there. But what's even that is exciting and all that, but what's even more exciting is I helped Janelle Eagle Robles of She Helps Homeowners get her first property by becoming the bank. And she didn't spend any money out of her own pocket, no credit checks. We got that house for $760,000, and she's in California. Yeah. And then I helped Jose Zaldivar in North Carolina quit his job working for a wholesaler doing cold calling by having success at the 7 steps to becoming the bank. And then my 2 most exciting pieces, though, my 18-year-old apprentice, he's still in high school. He works part-time at Walmart, man. We just closed his first wholesale transaction, and he got a $9,000 assignment fee by using my system. And just the day before yesterday, Rufus,
is that right?
Yesterday, a 19-year-old student of mine in Memphis, Tennessee, just got his first property under contract, pre-foreclosure, by taking over the debt. Not going to cost him anything to get that property, So I've helped other people get success, with the 7 steps to becoming the bank, man. So that really, that really makes me happy, man, that I've helped other people learn this and learn my system. So, it's changed everything for me. I went from the bottom 80% of income earners to the top 1% in a matter of 8 months.
Nice.
I own 3 businesses. I went from running a landscaping company to
Okay.
own 3 businesses, man. And most importantly, I got my time back. I went and seen a beach with my own eyes for the first time ever in my life. And it was all from the strategy, man. So
yeah, nice.
yeah,
That's
that's my
fantastic.
story in a nutshell, man.
That's it. That's cool, man. So let me ask you this: what do you wish you knew then? I mean, what do you know now that you wish you would have known then? Just one thing. Sounds like there's a lot of things, but what was probably the top
Yeah,
thing?
the easy answer is for me to say, I wish I knew I could have taken over debt, right? That's the
Okay.
easy answer. But the real answer and the real key to
Yeah.
success in real estate is that I wish I knew that real estate and being an entrepreneur is just about the ability to solve problems.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would have
Gotcha.
known that things would have moved at a much more accelerated pace.
Nice. It's interesting you say that. I remember one of the first lessons I learned from, I tried to hang around with people that were smarter than me and, had more money than me. And I learned, they said that money was simply a reward for solving a problem. That was something that really, changed the way I thought about money and obviously just made a huge change in my career. So let me ask this, man, what would you say is like the biggest failure that you've had and what did you learn from that?
So my biggest failure,
Yeah.
and I don't really believe in failures per se
Sure.
now anyway, since my
Yeah.
mindset changed. But I made a lot of mistakes, and I used to, man, it's more than one, but all I ever wanted in life was peace of mind, right?
Gotcha.
Peace of mind. That's it. It
Sure.
wasn't money, it wasn't material things, but I didn't know if I had to, drink enough alcohol or do enough drugs to get that peace of mind, right? And that
Sure.
obviously isn't it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I had to sell enough marijuana to make enough money, not to have to worry about my bills,
Yeah.
to have peace of mind. So my biggest mistake was, but it was my biggest mistake, Rufus, but also it was the best gift that God has ever given me, ever. So that's why it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I got caught selling marijuana
Okay.
and got in trouble for that, and at the time, my mindset wasn't right, obviously, because I was making those types of choices, right?
Sure.
I thought this was my only choice to get ahead in life. To
Right.
this is what I thought, and I was completely wrong, and I had to learn that. I had to go through the fire to learn that.
Gotcha.
I had to go through that fire, but going through that fire of making that mistake
Yeah.
was the thing that formed me into gold, because gold goes through a fire to become more precious.
That's right.
More refined. But a base metal will go through that same fire and be destroyed.
Gotcha.
So are you going to go through that fire as a base metal and be destroyed? Or are you going to go through that fire and come out like gold and be more precious, more refined, more valuable, right? So that's what it did for me, man. And then now I'm able to receive those gifts that God had in store for me.
Nice. That's fantastic. So it's kind of like even when you're working out too. That's another example that muscle is created by applying resistance to pressure. You know what I mean? So it's like you need those difficult times. And I appreciate what you're saying about failure because I believe that too. You either win or you learn. So you're not failing unless you stop. But
right.
But when those hard situations come, you can either learn from them or you could just give up and walk away. You learn and it made you a better person. And so I hear you 100%. So what one piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to do what you do? I mean, what advice would you give them? I know you got 7 steps, but just give me right.
The piece of advice, but see, it's not even really, step number 1 is mindset. It's a new reality.
Gotcha.
It's mindset and awareness. So mindset is the most important thing that any of us can have. The ability to control our mind, man, undefeated mind. So I would say this, my biggest piece of advice, and this is specific to real estate too, is that when an obstacle arises, when a problem comes up, right, because it's never a straight path to our goal.
Right.
So when a problem does come up, instead of saying to ourselves, oh man, well, another problem. Why can't it looks easy that, when this guy did it, why is it so hard for me all the time, right? Why do I always have to have obstacles? Instead of saying that, right?
Okay.
Instead of saying, woe is me,
Yeah.
instead say to yourself, what do I need to do to fix this?
Gotcha.
What do I need to do to fix this? And embrace that problem, knowing that once you fix this, now you've learned how to fix that. So when it arises again, you know how to get around it, over it, or through it. It's not a problem. So that obstacle, that problem, it was actually a gift. It
Yeah.
was a gift. So if we can look at it that way, that'll change everything for you. Everything.
Sure, sure. So it's back to mindset, really, like you're saying. Really, like you said before, it could be looked at a problem, or it could be looked at as a gift, and how you view it is going to determine whether it helps you or hurts you, right?
Absolutely. Yep. You hit
Yeah.
that right ahead.
So what have been, you sort of alluded to some of these things, but what have been some of the resources that have helped you the most to get to where you are?
Yeah. Man, well, see, and I think you know this too inherently, Rufus, is that we've got to invest in ourselves,
Sure,
in
absolutely.
ourselves, be it, health, knowledge specifically, because
Right.
we'll be able to use that knowledge. So the best thing that I did, best tools I had, one was a mentor.
Okay.
Right? I had a mentor that had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
So he had traveled that road. So now that's the thing, when we find something that stirs our soul and
Yeah.
lets us know like this is the one. If there's somebody that has accomplished those goals that you want to accomplish,
Yeah.
well, dang it, that means that it can be done.
That's right.
Somebody's done it, so we can do it too, right? So I got a mentor, and
Okay.
I brought value, though. I brought value to my mentor, right?
Okay.
I didn't pay this mentor. I have two mentors. One I paid, and now we have a partnership. I
Gotcha.
paid him, and now we have a partnership because of the value that I brought.
Yeah.
But this first one, I didn't pay him. I worked my way to him, and he saw off my actions, right?
Gotcha.
That I was a go-getter, hence the go-getter family. He's one of
Yeah.
the people who bestowed that name. But then the second thing for this strategy, Lou Brown is one of the founders, man. He is the founder of Subject to and Creative Financing. And he's got a book. It's called Buy, Hold, and Sell. And
Okay.
that thing is amazing. So yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that can help you.
Fantastic. Let me ask you this: what is a common myth that you've run into around real estate that you could debunk? I mean, something that people believe, but maybe is not true. And again, I think you're hitting on some of these things. I'm just kind of pinpointing them, but what? Yeah. So what might be one of those myths?
Because there's a ton of them.
I know.
But the first one, I would say is that we have to have a realtor to do real estate transaction.
Right.
You don't need a realtor. You don't have to pay commission if you don't want to. Now, I love realtors. I'm not saying
sure.
I love realtors. You need to have those relationships, but you don't have to have a realtor to do a real estate transaction. So we got to get that out of our minds first.
Gotcha. Okay. And it sounds like another thing is that you don't need a bank either.
Sure don't.
Don't need a bank, and so thus is the foundation of your whole 7 steps. But nice. Okay. Cool. So don't need a realtor.
Let me say one more thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is in real estate, and I believe in life and being an entrepreneur in general.
Yeah.
You don't need money. You don't need money to make money.
That's a huge myth.
Have to have money to make money. Now, once you get that thing up and going, if you want to scale it, if you want to scale whatever that is you're doing, then it's going to cost you a little bit of money. But by that point, you should have made some money to make a capital investment in your business.
Got it.
You start with no money, man. Just bring value and solve problems well. Solve them well.
Nice. So before I hit you with this last question, man, how can people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you online or however they connect with you?
You can get a hold of me at all of my social medias are at the Go Getter Family. The Go Getter Family. So you can check me out on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, and then also my website, thegogetterfamily.com.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just reach out, DM me. I give a lot of free game on YouTube too, man. I give some gems on YouTube. So
okay, nice. So and you alluded to this earlier, man. If someone were to Google real estate investor failure rate, they'll find that it's like 95% of real estate investors fail.
Yeah.
And I believe that the key to succeeding is to make yourself unstoppable when it comes to failure. You obviously are succeeding. So what is your definition? So this is like a two-part question. First, I want to know how would you define the word unstoppable, and what have you done that made yourself unstoppable when it came to achieving the successes you've made?
So, and I tell the story sometimes too, because I first heard that number from you, that 95%.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I'm telling that story, I'm like, yeah, I know that number is hard to believe, but I was talking to a heavy hitter, so I believed it initially, when that person said it, and it was you.
Right.
Looked it up, and yes, it was 95%.
Boom, right there. It's crazy. Yeah.
Right. So, but one of the things that, the kryptonite to obstacles is persistence.
Gotcha. Nice.
That is the kryptonite to an obstacle. It is persistence. If you just keep getting back up, you just keep getting back up.
I love it.
The obstacle is going to give up, man. It's going to say, man, this person here just won't stop.
Okay.
Sit down and let them by.
All right.
You're on your way, man. You're on your way. And then the next time you come up against an obstacle, you will know that you have the mental fortitude, the resilience to get through it, because you've done it already. You've done it already. So now it's a bit easier each time.
Nice. I love that. So you prove it to yourself. So now you got more confidence, because you're going to run into the problems again, maybe not that exact one, but you're going to run into something, but you've already built that muscle of resistance. I love that. So resistance will kill that obstacle. I mean, somebody's going to give up. It's either them or you. And if you keep getting up, like you said, it's an man. I love it. All right, man. I love it. I love to talk with you here all day, man. We're gonna have to set this up. I can see this is going to be a part 2 and 3. But man, I really appreciate your time. Do you have any last minute tip or thing you want to throw out before we close out?
For sure. Hey, I got to get you on my YouTube, man, too, to give some of those marketing tips.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to, man. I would love to.
Love that. And I got a show coming up with PropStream to learn how to use that tool, the software.
Oh, okay.
So after that, man, I got to get you on, so then we can talk about marketing, because they're going to know how to find these property, all that. So
yeah, absolutely. I would love to. I'd love to. And you know what's interesting? Go ahead, man. What you gonna say?
I said I locked him in on the air, y'all.
I'm locked. Well, man, I'm gonna let you run, my friend. Like I said, I'd love to get you back on here. I look forward to getting on there with you, and I wish you all the success in the world, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate having me on, and thanks to all the viewers and all the listeners. Thanks for watching.
Yep, you bet. All right, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, I'll see you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.